Alright, so what you're seeing on screen right now is the Eldlich deck that you can use to get into the Platinum tier of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Poplove, I am your weirdo geek bro, and today I'm showing you a bunch of different examples of this Eldlich deck in action. I'm going to be narrating my play as it happens, I'm going to be explaining the thought process behind it, all that good stuff, but there is one thing that I won't be doing. I won't be doing a complete detailed breakdown of every single card in this deck. I already did that in another video, so if you want more context about this deck, if you want to know exactly what each card does, I do recommend you check out that video. Link is in the description. If you don't have the time for it, it's like 20 minutes, not a problem, don't worry about it. I will guide you as much as I can in this video as well. So without further ado, let's jump right into our first duel. For our first duel here, let's just take it slow. Let's show you what these cards can do in a clean environment when you're not being super pressured by your opponent, and the best way to do that is with a simple solo duel against the AI. Let's take a look at the hand that we have here. This is Torrential Tribute. It will destroy all monsters in the field when something gets summoned. We got Solemn Strike as well, which can negate special summons and effects. Then we have There Can Be Only One, which can create problems for special summoning. And then we've got Scarlet, Sanguine, and Eldlich, which are trap cards that will support our style of play. We'll get into those in just a moment here. But let's see what our opponent's going to do. So they immediately play a spell. What? This is like 85 pages of text. We're not reading this, but if we're just to glance at it, you know, we're Eldlich players. We don't read, but we glance. It says add one synchron tuner from your blah blah blah. Okay, so our opponent at this point is going to go for some kind of multi-card, you know, special summon from the extra deck. We're not worried about that because we have such a powerful back row. But I am going to special summon an Eldlich here. So that is what Scarlet Sanguine does. There's also a graveyard effect for it. We'll cover that later. But we're going to put an Eldlich on the field here because we're playing extremely aggressively because we know that the AI is weak. So we're just kind of like testing what our deck can do, what we can accomplish when we're being aggressive. So at this point, opponent's going to put down another monster, probably another like 35 monsters. We got, what is this? This is like, I don't know. Like I didn't come here to read Wikipedia. What is this? So you contribute this card, then target blah 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 blah. So sure sounds like they are going to get some more monsters onto the field here, and they're going to special summon something, and at this point we're still not concerned. But now that they only have 3 cards in their hand and 2 on the field, now we're talking. Now we're hitting that sweet spot where we can really mess up their combos. So they summoned whatever this thing is. Who cares? We don't care. We don't read. We're going to use Solemn Strike to destroy that at the cost of 1,500 life points. Might sound like a lot. Very small price to play for how we play. So they got another spell card. Target one machine, something, who knows. It's probably just going to lead to 55 other monsters. Nothing can stop it right now based on what we have. So we're just letting the next monster be summoned. And at this point, they have 2 cards in their hand. And they have 2 cards on the field. They're probably very close to special summoning something from the extra deck. They have a lot of cards in the graveyard. It's time to pull off a bit of a crazy move. Well, I mean, it's not really crazy. You might feel crazy if you're not used to it. But basically, we're destroying all monsters on the field, including our Eldlich. But that is A-okay, because our homie Eldlich is going to special summon himself. Here we draw Ash, which is great. Ash will just negate a bunch of different effects if we needed to. So here, we're going to go into our graveyard, and before special summoning Eldlich, we're actually going to play Eldlixir of Scarlet Sanguine first. The reason why we're doing that is because this card will allow us to play, another Golden Land trap card, which will support Eldlich. I'll cover that in just a moment. And also, what if the opponent has something here that will affect our graveyard effect, right? We don't want to just go for Eldlich right away and then immediately get decimated, and now we're out of monsters, and what are we going to do? So we played this card because it lets us support our playstyle, but also it allows us to sort of bait the opponent into doing something and wasting their card if they do that. Now, we're ready for an Eldlich summon here from the graveyard, so we need to destroy one of our trap cards. I don't know why that was so weird to say. I just struggled there. My brain shut off. You can also use spell cards, but we don't have any of this in the field. So Eldlich is now in the field, and because we summoned him from the graveyard, dude has 3,500 attack points. Blue Eyes White Dragon, Ultimate Dragon. Like, what do you want, Blue Eyes? We got this guy here. And what's nice is that he can't be destroyed by card effects because he's coming from the special summon from the graveyard. So at this point, we can just go into the battle phase. We can attack. We're feeling extremely confident. Our opponent has only 2 cards, basically, right? Well, they're about to have a third one, but if this was a real duel, you'd be feeling amazing right now, right? You're just knocking your opponent down. So let me just rewind real quick what I do here in the end phase. We can activate the effect of our Golden Land trap card from the graveyard, and we're going to do that. It's Huaquero. I don't know why I'm losing the ability to speak. I'm sorry. And what he does is he lets us set one of our Eldlich support cards onto the field. We're going to set down Scarlet Sanguine because we're going to try to get another Eldlich out onto the field. And we're just going to try to overwhelm our opponent. So again, if you're playing somebody that's an actual human being, and they're running out of cards, or they seem to be misplaying and stuff like that, you can be very aggressive with them. So Jet, Syncra, I don't know. I don't read. I'm an Eldlich player. I got platinum things to do. So if this card is sent to the graveyard, a Synchro material, something or the other, blah, 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 sure sounds like they're going to combo that into some magical special summon dragon or something that's going to kill us. So we'll deal with that in a moment here, but for now, we're just going to put down another Eldlich onto the field, put more pressure on our opponents, being extremely aggressive. We know that our opponent is going to end up with another card on the field here, and they're actually activating this trap, which, again, not to sound like I'm reading, because I'm not, but like, let's not be crazy here, but looks like this thing lets you special summon 2 whatevers, so we don't want that to happen. We're going to play Ash from our hand, which negates that, and it's great. We've now basically reduced the opponent to just about nothing. Like, what can they possibly do from here? They don't really have any crazy graveyard effects. They have 1 card in their hand. They have 1 card on the field. It's over. We're basically winning this duel. So, now we are here on our turn, and we're going to play it safe, even though we basically know we've won this duel, especially because it's the AI, you know. Let's play it safe just to build good habits. You don't want to just like attack right away without having done anything with your effects, because who knows what this card in the hand is. Maybe it's a magical card that will end the duel and somehow you will lose and you will, I don't know, cry for the rest of your life. So I'm activating Conquistador of the Golden Land, and he special summons himself onto the field as a monster that is technically a trap card. The other awesome effect of this card is that it will allow me to destroy the opponent's monster because it's face up and because I have Eldlich on the field. So that's what I mean when I say these are like the Eldlich support cards. They really let you play your playstyle. I'm activating another Sanguine from the graveyard, which just allows us to set another support card for Eldlich on the field, just in case. You never know. You never know. I mean, we know at this point, but you never know. You want to cross your I's and dot your T's. That's how that works, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said that 100% correctly. So anyway, we win the duel here, obviously. This is giving you just like a quick peek of what this deck can do when it's like unopposed. These are some of the ideas. Let's move on to our next duel against a real opponent. Here we have a duel coming up that's a little bit unusual. It's not too crazy, but it doesn't quite follow the format that a lot of platinum level duels do. But it's great because we can learn from that. We can see what you can do when you're playing in this type of situation. So right off the bat here, we got Pot of Extravagance in our hand. We're going to play it right away because remember, if we don't play it right now, we're going to have to wait until the next turn to play it. So we draw 2 cards from this at the cost of 6 cards from our extra deck, which is cool because we barely use our extra deck in this deck. Now, we have a bunch of traps here in our hand, and we have Eldlich, and we could technically go for an Eldlich play where we special summon him onto the field, but because of the effects involving that, we would basically get rid of 2 of our traps. We don't want to do that because we can set up a killer field, a killer board with our traps. Now, I'm going to pause here for a sec. You might be like, wait a minute, Dr. Poplov. Why did you put down 4 traps on your first turn and leave only 2 monsters in your hand that you can't really do anything with on their own? Aren't you just going to get dusted on the first turn? Well, yes, that is a possibility. That's a very real possibility that the opponent might have Harpy's Feather Duster. They're going to play it right away, and that's it for this duel. We are done. However, it's such a rare occurrence. Not a lot of Platinum, meta players, they don't really do that because they have to optimize their decks in different directions. So yeah, once in a blue moon, you will get absolutely demolished playing this deck, and you will feel really stupid, and you will probably be upset with me, and I'm sorry for that, but it happens so rarely that it's not really an issue. Let's speed this up. So let's I sped it up too much. Let's back up. Let's back up. So our opponent here is about to play a spell card. I mean, this is basically what, like 6 essays worth of text. We're not gonna read that, but we know from reading like the first sentence maybe that this is gonna result in the player doing some combos, and that this player is going to go for graveyard effects. Because we have so many traps in the field, we feel confident that we can deal with anything that comes our way right now. So we don't want this player drawing a card off of their spell card. So we're going to activate Imperial Order, which negates it. Unfortunately, he still got to send 3 cards to the graveyard to begin with, but you can't win everything, right? You just have to play with what you got. So we negated the other effect of that, and it's all good. We're still feeling pretty confident. And at this point, so we got to assess the situation here, right? The opponent has 4 cards in their hand. If they got a monster in the field, this might be the answer to global warming or how to end poverty. I don't know. It's too much text to read. So we're just going to let this effect fly, because based on this like first sentence here, we can see that it's about increasing a level, which tells us as Eldlich players who don't like to read that my opponent is going to try to do some kind of increasing the star rating level, whatever, to special summon like a cool monster from the extra deck. And we're gonna let this happen for the first time because we're assuming that based off of that play, they're going to need another monster in order to be able to special summon. So we let this happen. It's all good. We're just fast forwarding a little bit. You can see the level up here changed. I know the 2 curses are annoying, I'm sorry, but if you have any other better ideas of how you'd rather I do this, then let me know. I don't necessarily want to narrate live while I'm doing the duel, because that's going to make the match take way longer, and that's just disrespectful to the opponents. So anyway, we're going to negate the secondary effect here, because in order to raise the level, or whatever it was, I don't know, we don't read around here, our opponent had to get rid of 1 card from the hand, so now they're down to just 3 cards. So we feel pretty good about negating their effect with Ash Blossom, and we still have a bunch of traps on the field, so it's all good. Let's see how our opponent responds. They respond by attacking us. We take the hit. We could have destroyed that monster, but at this point, it's fine. We're gonna hit them when it hurts the most. So we draw here, and we got a pickle. Do we go for summoning Eldlich and go on the offensive because our opponent has not dealt with our back row, so we are assuming that our aggressive playstyle is working? Or do we go for skill drain in order to technically prolong the match, but it's the safer option? Well, the answer for me here was I'm going to go with skill drain. It's a bit safer, a bit less risky. Now that we put down skill drain, we're good to go. We're just going to chill. Skill drain is going to prevent all of the monsters from using their effects on the opponent's field. There are technically like summoning condition effects that can get past skill drain, but we're not worried about that, all right? We're paying our price, we're paying the life points. Let's speed this up. Let's see what our opponent is doing now. They got 4 cards in their hand. They got a monster on the field. Surely a special summon is coming. And so we got this thing on the field. I don't know, like it's like, what is this? I'm not here to read Wikipedia, but I can see that, this is some kind of graveyard effect, so probably it's going to go into some kind of graveyard special summon that's going to power something up, whatever. So we let this drop on the field. Skill drain is negating its effect anyway while it's on the field. And yeah, looks like a special summon is coming. Let's just let the animation play so that's a bit clearer. So we got this Link Summon monster. And whoa, this text here has a scroll bar. Nah, son. But we know that this is going to lead to more monsters getting summoned. There's no way that our opponent is just going to summon a 1500 attack Link monster and just like end their turn and attack with that. Like, that's not how Yu-Gi-Oh is played, right? So we know more is coming. We're not too worried about it. We don't want to have these like weird graveyard effects, so we're gonna cancel one of them, see what happens. Maybe just delays it. I don't know. No one needs to read. We're platinum players, so our life points are pretty low right now. Don't worry about that. As long as we have the protection of a million different traps, it's all good. It's all good. Next up, opponents doing more weird effect stuff from the graveyard, banishing, summoning, whatever. We know that they're gonna want to special something powerful, special summon something powerful. Did I say special something powerful? Ah, whatever, who cares? So yeah, the special summon is happening here. This thing, I don't know what this thing is, looks like, I'm looking at it from a distance, some kind of flower, no idea. Let's kill it with our Solemn Judgment, which will cost us half of our life points. So we're really playing aggressive here, we're playing fast and loose, but there's nothing from our opponent that has suggested so far that we need to be a little bit more cautious. And remember, we put down skill drain so we can afford to play a little crazy with this deck, and that's one of the reasons why it makes it fun. Plus you get to observe how your opponent's archetype actually works so that you can learn how to deal with it when you're maybe playing a different deck in the future. Alright, let's speed this along. What do we got? We got some graveyard nonsense. Oh, actually we got something really funny. So this is one of the reasons why so many people will hate on Eldlich decks and call them toxic and whatever. So this card in a normal environment would have decimated us because it gets powered up by the graveyard. But because we have skill drain on the field, this card is pretty much useless for the most part. Like, you can use it to special summon something, but on its own, it's not going to do anything to us. So let's fast forward here a little bit. We got Linkuriboh on the field. So Linkuriboh would normally be awesome, really kind of throwing a what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Throwing a... You know what, let's just start over. Linkuriboh's awesome because normally it would really reduce the efficiency of our attacks. But we got skill drain. We love that skill drain, so it doesn't really matter that much. Now we can get Eldlich onto the field. We're going to take a life point hit here from Imperial Order. Imperial Order is going to be destroyed on the next turn anyway, so we can just destroy it here in order to special summon Eldlich. So Eldlich, you know, you need to get rid of a trap or spell card from your hand, then it goes to the graveyard, then you need to get rid of something from your field, and then you can play it on the field. Throughout all of that, we're also allowed to destroy a face-up card, or any card? I think it was any card, I can't remember. Pretty sure it was any card. So we do that, Linkuriboh's gone, we go into battle phase, we attack, and one thing that's really beautiful about this, so 3500 attack, it stays that way for the next turn as well, and because of the timing or the location of where Eldlich's effect takes place when we special summon it from the graveyard, skill drain did not break its effect that allows it to be not invincible, but close to invincible because it can't be destroyed by card effects. So in the end phase here, we banish our Conquistador Golden Land card in order to set a Eldlixir of whatever Sanguine, Scarlet, Sanguine, words are hard. This allows us to get another Eldlich onto the field when we want. So let's see what our opponent's doing. Our opponent's taking their sweet time. They got 2 cards in the field now, so maybe they have something. We're not too concerned about it because, again, Eldlich, at least on this turn, is invincible. If those were cards that could have destroyed us, they wouldn't have been able to affect Eldlich right now anyway. So we got a card face down. Now, at this point, you're like, well, he's got 2 traps, you know, probably is going to destroy us in some way if we attack, but what can you do, right? You gotta push forward. So we're feeling confident that we can get another Eldlich on the field here with this card, and we're feeling confident because nothing throughout this match has suggested that our opponent has any ability to take out our back row, because they would have tried to do it by now. Maybe they don't know how, maybe they don't have the cards in their deck, probably could be a mixture of both, could be a bad draw, could be so many different factors, but we are feeling safe in our aggression here. So at this point, there's not much else to do but just go for the dub, hope you can get the dub. There's going to be some effect here probably, like what was it, let's see, when it flips up. Come on, flip up, there we go. Oh, it's another one of the King of the Skull servants that is basically useless in this scenario because of skill drain. So we do some life points damage here. Well, I mean, the opponent's going to do some special summoning from the graveyard. We don't care about any of that stuff. We got our trap cards, we got our effect negating. Special summons Kuriboh, our opponent. or Linkuriboh, I should say. It's all good, doesn't really affect us, so we attack it. And just like that, we've brought our opponent down to 2,300 life points. We're still at 400 life points, so it's precarious. But we started this match aggressive, and once you commit like that, you can't really uncommit. It's too late. So we're playing Devil May Care with our life points. It's all good. We are trusting our deck. We are trusting our assessment of the opponent. So next up, we got what do we got actually? We got another wall of text. You know, who read like these are numbers. Okay, we can read those numbers. That's clear. These things here, I don't know what that is, but it sure looks like it's another zombie with, you know, more effects from the graveyard. So we're going to let this pass. We're going to let this happen on the field because our opponent's probably going to special summon something. And once they special summon something, we are going to take care of it. So another Link monster relinquished, but it's not the one that you know from the anime. So whatever, it's going to link into some other nonsense that we're not reading. It's going to end with the opponent either filling up their board here or, you know, merging all these monsters into some super powered beast that is going to absolutely decimate us. But based on what we've seen from our opponent here, that's not going to happen. So I'm just fast forwarding here. Let's fast forward a bit more because I remember this turn taking a while. So this turn ends with our opponent successfully executing an effect where the attack of this Eldlich is messed up. They have 3 cards in the field right now, so they are going to put something from their extra deck into play now. These are all level 1s, so we're not too worried about it, honestly. And that's one of the reasons we've been able to play so aggressively once we saw that this is a Skull Servant deck. We do have a little bit of knowledge about it, but if you don't have any knowledge about it, it's all good. You can still push through. Anyway, at this point, our opponent is going to do some magical, you know, whatever. We got Linkuriboh on the field now again. Come on, let's special summon. So we got this thing again. Not gonna. Who's got time to read this stuff? We're just gonna destroy it with Dogmatika Punishment. We don't need to read this stuff anyway because of skill drain. So Dogmatika Punishment, as long as you can destroy one of your extra deck monsters that has a higher attack than the card that you're targeting, it destroys that monster. Now our opponent's gonna have 50,000 more graveyard effects. We don't really care about that. The duel is over. There's nothing on their field. There's one card that maybe it'll wipe us out, but probably not. There's nothing in their hand. So all my opponent can do is recycle the effects from their graveyard that we can't do anything with. But once those cards are on the field, it's pointless, right? They can't really do anything about that. So the duel is effectively over. My opponent tries to do everything they can to try to do something. I'm just going to show you the win here just so you know. I'm not trying to pull a fast one on you or lie to you or anything. The opponent surrenders here in a moment because they know what's coming. So that was a bit of a strange duel, but it's really good to know what to do in these types of situations. Let's move on to the next one. All right, so in this duel, we're coming up against what many consider the best deck in the game right now. The tier 1 meta Tri-Brigade nonsense, you know, all the weird stuff that they do with their 50,000 different effects that we're not going to read because we're pro Eldlich players. So I'm just setting down my traps here in the first turn, and then I'm going to play Elixir of Black Awakening, which is going to bring forth Eldlich, our golden boy, onto the field. Now, downside of it, or I guess side effect, maybe not necessarily downside, we got to put it in defense mode, but that's fine because on our first turn here, we would want him to be in defense mode anyway. So we got 3 back row, we got Eldlich on the field, pretty good opener, given that we can negate some effects, but at the same time, this is still kind of aggressive because the opponent has 5 cards now in their hand, or they're about to, there you go. So they still can take us out. So I'm kind of YOLOing it here a little bit with the skill drain. I'm activating it super early to be aggressive, you know, to force them to remove the trap. I want to see what kind of trap removal they might be running. So sometimes this move will backfire on you. But at the end of the day, I'm here to have fun. I'm here to play a game. I'm not playing this, you know, as an esport for money or something like that. I'm just having a good time. So yeah, sometimes I like to be a little bit aggressive with my deck that is like built around not being aggressive. So yeah, we got Cosmic Cycloned here. When that happened, I remember exactly, I just like let out like a bunch of air out of my nose and felt so dumb for YOLOing it with skill drain this early. But you know what? It's okay. We still got a lot that we can work with. It might not look like it, but it's all good. So what do we got here? We got some essay. Who's going to read all of this stuff? But if you read a little bit of it, if you glance at it, sure looks like it's something that's going to lead to a combo and maybe like a boost in attack. So we negated with Ash, but the thing is, it's a continuous spell, right? So the passive effect on it, if we were to read it, which we don't do that because we're Eldlich players, but if we were to read it, the passive effect would remain on the field and it would remain active. It's not permanently negated. So, all right, you know, we did it, we YOLO'd it, we went very aggressive, and we're kind of, it's a mixture of hoping for the best like you would in any game, but we are trying to force the issue with what we've received in our hand to start with, basically. So we get skill drain again, which is just wonderful. We put it down on the field, obviously. Now we're going to go to our graveyard to activate the graveyard effect of the Eldlixir of Black Awakening. Sometimes I say Elixir, sometimes I'll say Eldlixir, like the way it's written. I don't know. It's Elixir. Why I gotta make it complicated? I don't know. So anyway, this card lets us set down one of our support cards. We put down Conquistador. So Conquistador will, as you might remember, help us get some monsters on the field and help us destroy face-up cards as well. So at this point, we got very similar feels. We're all in, both of us, right? That's the kind of duel I like. Let's just go crazy. Let's get kind of stupid with it within the parameters of our strategies. So I'm going to attack Eldlich here. Or I'm going to attack with Eldlich, and let's see what ends up being face up. Oh, look at this text. What is this? Who's going to read all of this? I'm wearing glasses, but I feel like I need another pair of glasses in order to be able to read all of this. Like, all we know is that this does some graveyard thing that's probably going to lead to, you know, 50,000 monsters being special summoned and just like nuking our little board into oblivion. So yeah, we're gonna stop that effect. Now, let's move on here out of the battle phase in just a moment. But first, we're gonna play Huaquero, and he's going to turn into an 1800 attack monster. So we're gonna do some good life points damage here. Well, good, you know, 1800, but any life points damage is good life points damage. And the effect of this guy will allow us to banish his monster, the opponent's monster, their monster that just went into the graveyard, because we don't want them recycling that nonsense. You know, Tri-Brigades, all their super fancy special effects, you know, who knows what kind of nonsense they're going to pull. And speaking of nonsense, it's the opponent's turn now, so they're going to pull a bunch of it. I'm going to skip ahead here because if I remember, there's about 50 cards that get played this turn where we just kind of chill, don't do anything. So we do activate our skill drain again, and this time it pays off. Okay, so now the opponent's activated another fire formation. Sorry, we're Eldlich players, we don't read. Another one of these things, so we just kind of have to let it happen to us, unfortunately. They are going to get a new card in their hand. They're going to jumpstart all of their combos. We don't really have combo interruptal? That's not a word. We don't really have combo interruption at our disposal right now. That's okay. Let's see what happens here. So, blah, 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 blah. 50,000 cards are being played. Graveyard effects that not only can we not do anything about, but they're just basically comboing into each other, resulting in the opponent having more cards that they can play. Blah, 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 blah. Like, look. All of that ends with a 2100 monster that has its effects negated, though, right? Because of our skill drain. So if you were to read all of these cards, you know, you would have come to the same conclusion as without reading them. So, you know, don't read the cards. Don't ever read the cards. I hope you guys know that's a joke. You should probably read the cards once in a while. Anyway, so it's our turn now. And what we're going to do here is basically destroy the opponent's monster with sorry, it's not our turn. Why am I so stupid? It's the battle phase, but we're activating Conquistador of the Golden Land, and that's going to special summon itself, but also let us destroy the face-up monster. So now we can start looking into doing some sweet life points damage, but it's Tri-Brigade. They are probably going to have 6,000 more effects that we need to concern ourselves with. Who knows? they're probably going to spawn their boss monster like 2 seconds from now. We get the Pot here of Extravagance, which is wonderful. We're about to draw 2 cards. And again, that's at the cost of 6 cards from our extra deck that we barely ever use. I don't think we've actually used it in this video yet. It does happen. You do summon Gustav, but it's not that common. And I think the recent maintenance wiped out all of the replays I had saved, so I can't even pull those right now. Anyway, we got Imperial Ordered, but that's okay, you know? Our deck isn't based around spell cards, so it's not the end of the world. And now we just attack and hope that we don't get magically wiped out. Oh, snap. Try Brigade. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I don't read. But if we were to read, right? If we were to glance at a card, it would say something like special summon something. So at this point, you're feeling overwhelmed as a Yu-Gi-Oh player. You're like, oh my god, these cards, where are they coming from? They're like, when did he put all these cards in the graveyard? As well, we were skipping while he was doing, or they were doing 5,000 million different combos. And then you get this bird thing, or whatever the hell that was. I don't know. 3,000 attack. It has 3,000 attack, but it's not a Blue Eyes White Dragon. So I don't know what we're doing here. So you can see our measly guy here is not going to be able to take on this Giga Chad Link Summon monster that is now going to result in like 15 other cards being special summoned. But keep in mind that we have skill drain. Things are not as dire as they seem. By the way, while they resolve their 50 trillion card combo, just want to point out, if you're having a good time watching these videos and you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh content from me, please feel free to subscribe and let me know in the comments what kind of Yu-Gi-Oh stuff you want to see in the future as well. I'm having a lot of fun with this game, and I'm having a lot of fun just playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like in general, it feels like it's back in a major way. Not that it ever really left, but you know what I mean. There's just a lot of hype around this game. And it's good. I enjoy making the videos for it as well. It's a good time. So anyway, opponent takes 700 damage to the life points. That's because of Imperial Order. Now they're gonna summon some more stuff. By the way, all that stuff that happened was on our turn. It's just, you can't help but laugh, right? Like, it's just so funny how Yu-Gi-Oh sometimes plays out. It's sometimes hard for more casual fans to kind of wrap their minds around that and accept it, but I mean, it's just the game. It's how the game is built. It's not, you know, not something to be scared of. So anyway, I'm ranting here. We activated, I'll actually go back just so I can show that. We activated the graveyard effect of our Golden Land card here, so that's going to let us put the, what was it, Sacred Sanguine or Scarlet Sanguine onto the field, and Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, that's what it was. Don't ever read. And that's going to let us special summon a Eldlich monster when we need it. So we draw this card. So now we have 2 of these. So the problem is, you can only activate 1 of these at a time. Well, 1 of these per turn, I should say. So the one that we just laid down is basically useless within the context of the turn that we're on. The other one that we laid down, because we did it on the opponent's turn as it was ending, we can activate now. So I'm going to bring out Eldlich from the graveyard, and in order to do that, I have to destroy a trap. So which of these traps should I destroy? Skill Drain? No. The Sanguine that we can use? No. The Sanguine that we can't use, that's really our only option. I mean, I could have actually destroyed the monster because it's a trap, but I want to keep that stuff on the board just in case. So Eldlich now, as you already know, the golden boy can't be destroyed by card effects, and he's got 3,500 attack because we summoned him. That's it. You just shut down Tri-Brigade, the best deck in the game apparently, tier 1 meta, woo! Anyway, folks, I hope these videos have given you some ideas about how you can play Eldlich. I know that Eldlich gets a very bad reputation because it's a control deck, but as I've shown you, I play it extremely aggressively a lot of the time. Sometimes I do get a little bit more, I guess, methodic or defensive, but I love playing it as a hyper-aggressive deck. Once again, I'm Dr. Poplove, I am your weirdo geek bro, and if you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh content, be sure to let me know in the comments. You can also subscribe, you can show this to your friends. I don't know how to end videos, oh my god, let's just cut the feed.